A sharp crack splits the air as the ground beneath Ahmed's feet trembles. Dust rises thickly around him, choking the faint scent of scorched earth mingled with fresh rain. His hands cling to the dirt, trembling yet determined, as a cold silence descends, a silence heavy with menace. Somewhere beneath this shattered soil, a dormant killer waits, unseen but deadly. How can a man rebuild his life when every step risks obliteration? This is Ahmed's nightmare. A farmer entrapped in a war zone where the scars are not just in flesh, but buried deep in the earth itself. It is 2015, deep in the war-torn countryside of a forgotten conflict. Ahmed, once a peaceful man tending his fields under the relentless sun, now faces a landscape turned hostile. The village where he was born lies in ruins, shell fragments litter the streets, and unexploded ordnance waits like hidden landmines beneath the cracked soil. The air still carries a distant echo of gunfire and destruction. The smell of diesel from convoys and the dampness of mud cling to his skin, reminders of both past terror and ongoing struggle. The calm of early morning farming was shattered 3 years ago, the day bombs rained down and his home was reduced to rubble. Ahmed and his family fled, joining thousands displaced by relentless conflict. Fields once fertile became no-go zones, the terrain marked by death and fear. His return was a gamble against death itself. Each step held the weight of uncertainty. Would the soil that nurtured life also hold the seeds of destruction? Back in his village, the devastation was total. Homes flattened, crops trampled, and the land scarred with craters and twisted metal. Ahmed discovered that beneath the fertile ground, a deadly secret lurked. Unexploded ordnance bombs, shells, and mines had been scattered like a poisonous harvest. One wrong move could mean oblivion. Yet, driven by a fierce will to reclaim what was lost, he refused to abandon the land. Ahmed enlisted the help of locals and some brave demoners, using rudimentary tools and what little knowledge they could gather. Each day was a trial against fear and despair. They marked safe paths, painstakingly cleared fragments of metal, and unearthed hidden dangers that threatened not only Ahmed's dreams but his very existence. The work was hazardous, slow, and agonizing, but surrender was not an option. Every day brought new challenges. Sudden unexploded shells discovered beneath a lone olive tree, the constant threat of sniper fire nearby, and the creeping hunger as food supplies dwindled. Yet Ahmed's resolve hardened with each narrow escape. His eyes, once filled with desperation, now shone with fierce determination. The farmer who had lost everything was becoming a symbol of unyielding resilience. One afternoon, as he dug near the edge of the field, a sharp clang echoed, the unmistakable sound of metal striking stone. Heart-pounding, Ahmed froze. His team rushed in, yet the shadow of possible disaster hung heavily over them. They dialed numbers no one should know, called in specialists who came with cautious steps. The bomb squad arrived, faces grim and eyes cold, to disarm what could have ended countless lives in an instant. The climax of Ahmed's struggle was not a grand battle, but a silent war beneath the earth. The removal of unseen enemies buried deep in the fields, the reclaiming of stolen soil inch by inch. It was a war of patience, pain, and persistence. The moment the last explosive was safely cleared felt less like victory and more like survival, the brutal truth of conflict seeping into every facet of existence. Yet this story is often omitted from the grand narratives of war. The headlines seldom speak of farmers like Ahmed, whose weapons are plows and whose battlegrounds are fields. The invisible wounds of displacement, the slow killing of hopes beneath unexploded bombs, these are the hidden truths of war. Ahmed's ordeal reveals that war's devastation goes beyond soldiers and guns. It ruptures the very roots of life and humanity. Ahmed's journey is not just a testament to one man's courage, but a stark reminder to all. Peace reclaimed is fragile, hard-won, and steeped in sacrifice. His fields now slowly bloom again, patches of green amid the ruins, a fragile promise of renewal. Yet every harvest carries with it the whispered threat of what still lies beneath. What sacrifices would you make to rebuild your home, to banish the ghosts hidden in the soil? Ahmed stands today, hands deep in the earth, a man bearing the terrifying truth of war's aftermath. A farmer, a survivor, a symbol of relentless hope fighting not with bullets, but with the enduring spirit to grow life from ruin. The world may forget him, but his story remains, a silent warning and a beacon of resilience from the shadows of conflict.